What goes through my mind leading up to a competition, right before I step foot on stage. I remember, God, I would get so nervous before going out on stage. I was competing as an amateur. How did I overcome it? Well, part of it is trying to convince yourself that all the work has been done. You put in all sorts of work over the course of, the prep, say 16 weeks. But even prior to that, you could have put in a whole year's worth of effort to get to where you're currently at. And that once you step foot on stage, it's not, it's pretty much done. What are you really worrying about? As much as I always tried to tell myself that never really worked. I think for me, as I got older and I realized what's really important in life, I was able to put things in perspective in that when I'm about to walk out on stage, I'm able to say to myself, okay, what am I worried about? If I don't look the way that everyone anticipates, I'm going to lose my home, or am I going to die? Is someone gonna beat the shit out of me? Put things in perspective as to really what's important in life, and I say, man, none of those things are gonna happen. So for me, part of it is I'm gonna go out on stage, and not that I don't give a shit, because of course I care very much, but I'm able to say, look, I'm here, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going out there, and it is what it is. The way people receive you has everything to do with the way you deliver yourself. So if you show someone that you're nervous, then I think subconsciously, they'll say, well, this guy's not that good. They'll say, well, if he was really good, he wouldn't be nervous. So I think you have to keep in mind that people only know what you're going to show them, or they only know what you tell them. Of course, when you're standing there in nothing but a pair of underwear, there's only so much you can tell them. Your physique does have to do some talking, because you can't bluff that, you can't bullshit that. But you do have to let people know that you're confident in yourself and you're proud of what you've worked for. That's truly how I feel. And I just try to make sure that people know that. Life after a contest. I think for anybody who competes, there's always a period of adjustment post-competition, not only physically, but also mentally. When it comes to the physical changes, obviously, you're getting ready for a contest. Your diet is super strict. You're doing cardio, most likely every day, oftentimes multiple times a day. And you're like a machine, you're on a mission. Once the contest is over, you now have the option of considering all different foods to eat. You say, wow, it's almost like, I've never been to prison, but I imagine it being almost like getting out of jail. I'm like, wow, I can eat this, I can do this now at this time. There's all sorts of things you can now do that you weren't able to before. And I remember what it was like early on, where no sooner than I got off stage, I was wolfing down a pizza and eating ice cream, and experienced a terrible rebound. And that always stuck in my mind. as the way I don't want to feel after a contest. So ever since then, I've always tried to keep things very reasonable after a contest. I always try to somewhat, keep doing almost what I was doing pre-contest to allow my body, if I'm going to change things, it's better to have it be a subtle change rather than this abrupt change. You don't want to go, I use this analogy to people. If you hadn't been training and all of a sudden you say, okay, well, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week, I'm going to do an hour of cardio a day, and I'm going to go ballistic with my training, imagine the way that your body would feel. You would not feel too good. You would probably get sick. Your immune system would take a beating. Likewise, just as you don't want to go from 0 to 100, you don't want to go from 100 to 0 either. Being, almost 4 weeks now post-contest, a lot of bodybuilders have different philosophies as to how they approach their training post-contest. And even myself, I've approached it different ways over the years. Each contest, I usually find that I feel differently after each one of them. This year I felt really good post-show. And although when I got home from Australia, I felt like I needed a little bit of a rest, and I, eased up on the gym a little bit. It didn't take me long to kind of get back into the full swing of things, and really pretty much more or less doing what I was doing going into the show. If for no other reason than I felt good doing that. So I decided, well, I felt good doing that. I want to keep doing that. I want to feel good. There's still part of you that's A, concerned you're gonna feel like crap, and B, you're just in such a groove that sometimes it's tough to break out of it. On a personal level, oftentimes in preparing for a contest, it's inevitable that some things will get put on hold. For someone who's competing and they see the competition as being not their sole focus, but a very, very important part of their life, as they see it as a major focus. Other things that maybe aren't as important might get set aside, put on the back burner. So when that contest is over, oftentimes you have this whole pile of things that is built up and you need to address it, whether it's work-related things or work/business related things, or it's just personal things. I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do, with my family. My daughter's been off from school this week, and it's already Friday. I can't believe it. And I've been so consumed with getting caught up around the house. The yard's a mess. Just work stuff that I've needed to get caught up on, that now say, okay, well, it's the weekend, it's all we've got left for this. I really need to spend some time with them, because when it's a contest prep, although I do the best I can to balance it all, it's inevitable that I don't spend as much time with them as I would like to, my wife and my daughter. So it's, trying to get caught up with everybody, with everything. And it's not easy. It takes as much time as it took to pile up, it takes even more time to undo it and get caught up with it.